Would you look at the time? Welcome, welcome, welcome to Memoirs of a Modern Marriage. We are your humble hosts. My name is Dave.
And I'm Liz.
And today we have a very special guest joining us today. Her name is Angel. Everybody say hello.
Hello.
All right, Angel. So we've perused over your website a little bit. Um, and it's called the Self Embrace Ministries.
Yes.
All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Well, so what I do is I like to share the message of metaphysical, I would say religion, because it is kind of like a religion, but share that with people who don't really know what it is, who think it's witchcraft. And I like to share that message. And with Self Embrace Ministries, I like to talk to people about the message that God gives us in how we are to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. So in that, the thing that's important to me is you have to love yourself. So I like to show people how to love and embrace yourself in a way that what other people say does not affect you. You can stay on your path and keep going and keep sharing the message of love. The whole message is love. So if you go through the web page, I have coaching programs and books that I like to share, and it's pink because I think pink is powerful, and that's weird because a lot more men reach out, you know, with questions. But that's what Self Embrace Ministries is. It is a growing ministry. I just created this online not too long ago. So I have an online Facebook group as well that I'm growing and sharing weekly messages on. But that's what Self Embrace Ministries is for me, developing myself as a person and as a mother and as a wife.
Okay. So you said you didn't start that long ago. Has it been within the last couple of months or?
Well, it has been within the last couple of months for the online ministry, but I have been a minister for years. The first
Okay.
time that I actually stood up to ministers or to preach a sermon was at 13.
Okay. So you started this ministry and you've been doing it for a very long time. What got you into the self embrace, side of it?
Ooh, okay. I didn't like myself at one point. I didn't like myself, and I didn't feel like nobody else liked me. That's basically what it was.
Okay, that's a great beginning. You know, um, as far as people you may have reached, um, would you say that you are generating a more positive, outlook in people's lives? Especially considering that it's so new, can you see a development in
Mhm.
people?
I can. So the Self Embrace Ministries is new, but what I've been doing is not. So they've been rocking with me throughout the name changes, and the different other ministers that I've worked under. But I can see it evolving, and the thing that I like about it right now is that it's reaching people who are actually ready for this. So I'm no longer just talking to everybody who can listen. Now it's people who are actually evolving through the messages, and then I can tell the evolution because now they're in a position where they don't need me to counsel them through and share messages. They're now becoming and realizing I have these same messages on the inside of me, and that's the part that I love, absolutely love about it, because with mainstream counseling and therapy, you have to constantly go. And with me, I would say the most sessions I've given to an individual are three. One, and then I like those who after one take it upon themselves to do their own work, because that's essentially what it is you doing your own work.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
Um, so you're teaching people more how to just find the answers with themselves.
That's it. I should have came. See, I should have came up with that. But that's what it is. Because with my homeschool, the Kati Kati Homeschool Guidance Academy, the whole goal there is every answer you need, whether it's a book or something in life, it's within us. We just have to be in a position to bring it up out of us. And I tested that about 2 years ago with my son, maybe 3 years ago, because they were in traditional school. He was having a problem on a test that he was taking, and so I told him, I said, push that aside. I said, just sit there and take 3 deep breaths, then read the question out loud, and whatever the first answer comes to your mind, choose that answer. And I watched him do that for 3 questions, and he got every last one of those questions right.
Nice.
Nice.
So that is the message that I want to.
Definitely. It's definitely good. It's a good thing that you are out there doing this kind of work, because I'll be honest with you, with myself, it took a while for me to actually like love myself. You know what I mean?
Oh
Like I,
wow, yes.
yeah, oh yeah. I mean, this beautiful face you see in front of you today has not always been this confident. You know,
And I
but
think that's one thing that, I mean, it takes, I think, everybody a long time to learn is nobody's going to love you until you love you.
right,
And my mom used to
Yes.
tell me that,
yeah,
and I didn't pay attention.
yeah. I mean,
And then another thing I've learned is sometimes people they don't love you because you love yourself so much.
Mhm.
That's crazy, but
oh yeah,
yeah.
no, I totally get that. Like if you're self confident, if you love yourself and you're confident, there'll be people out there that'll eat you alive. You know,
Yeah.
I guess it's like that alpha mentality. Maybe I don't know. It could very well be. Um, so we've heard about your ministry. I'd like to know a little bit about your home life. So you have kids.
Yes, I have children, and any child that I'm around, I think is my child. I don't know how that goes, but I have children. I
Okay.
love being a mother. Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
my son, he just turned 18, and that was
Oh
one of my
wow.
favorite things was to, be a dad. There is nothing better than like teaching a little minion how to be just like you.
Right. And you ain't even got to teach them; they're just like you, and you be like, "What
Right.
in the world?"
They just show up one day and you're just like, "What's up?"
Right? Yeah, yeah. We're on the same level. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Um
yeah, I love it. But I haven't gotten to 18 yet, so whoo, that's a milestone right there.
well, believe it or not, I am 40 years old. I mean, I
Oh
know I don't
wow.
look 40 years old, but yeah, I'm 40 years old. My son was born when I was 22. So he just turned 18 literally last week.
Mhm.
And, I thought that was really cool,
Happy late
but
birthday.
yeah, right. Um so how old are your children?
My oldest is 15. So I have a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 9-year-old. Those are my natural children. And I
Oh,
have
that
some
sounds
bonus children.
so fun. I bet you have so much fun at your house.
Yeah, I guess they have fun. They have
Yeah.
fun.
Oh yeah, at your expense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah.
Um.
Yeah.
But
And
yeah.
how many bonus children do you have?
Well, within my marriage, 5 bonus children. So yeah. Yeah, she
Oh,
said, wow. She whispered that, wow.
you got a party going on. Like that.
We
That is
do.
legit.
We do.
That is
Yeah, it
legit
is.
a high school party right there.
Yeah.
It is. We got our own teams. Like we wouldn't even have to invite nobody else over. We probably have room for like party of 2 more. That's it.
All right. Do you want to show everybody the shirt you're wearing? Because today is that
Sure.
special day.
It is Black Mother Magic.
Juneteenth. When did like Juneteenth become national? Was that 2 years ago or three or something like that?
Yeah. I think
Yeah,
it
I'm gonna let y'all answer because I was about to say last year.
Yeah,
I think it was a little bit
it
more.
was 2020.
Yeah, and I think last year it
Oh,
became
okay.
a national.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
2020 is when
Oh,
they
okay.
like
Okay.
started to recognize it.
Yeah.
And oh, you get to hear our life right now. There's my pup. Um, he uh, he likes to talk to the neighbors outside.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we don't have any kids running around here. We just have a couple of dogs, and they're loud.
Yeah.
Oh. Cool.
Yeah, kind of makes for an interesting video conversation though, because we normally don't edit these that much, you know. So
Okay.
you get to hear everything. Don't worry, I promise. Uh, I promise that I will try to stave that barking the best I can. But you might hear it every once in a while.
He
Um,
wants to be on the he wants to be on the show too.
he does, and he's been on the show more times than I'd like him to be sometimes.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
um, so you did say that your husband, you're recently married.
Yes, recently married. Married I don't want to say high. What is it, childhood sweetheart? But we've known each other literally since I was the age of 1. So we finally
Wow.
came to this point. Yeah,
And how long have you guys been married for?
we haven't been married a year yet. So we got married in November. So we'll be coming up on our first year of marriage soon, hopefully. But yeah.
Yeah, first year of marriage. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, unfortunately, we couldn't have him on today, huh? That's all right.
I know. I wish he would be on because maybe he would have a conversation with me then. I'm just saying. But we're having some difficulties right now, so
Uh
I
oh.
don't really know what to say about the marriage. I mean, I'm gonna love him either way, but he's having a hard time, or I'm giving him a hard time. Let's say
Right.
that because that's how he feels. I've been giving him a hard time, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and I noticed a tweet that you put up. I think it was either earlier today or yesterday, where you said people change every day.
Yes. Oh
Uh,
yes.
yeah, and I'm actually glad that you said that you were childhood sweethearts, because this is not my first marriage. This is actually my
Oh.
third marriage. My second marriage, yeah. My
Mhm.
second marriage, I'm married into. It was a rebound marriage, and the girl
Oh.
was a high school, girlfriend. I wouldn't even say
Mhm.
sweetheart. She was just a girlfriend. And when we got married, it was under the pretense that she thought I was the same person I was in high school, you know? And I was not the same person that I was in high school. So, it just kind of it didn't work out for us. Um,
You know what? You sound like you sound like you're talking about my marriage because this is my second marriage, and I don't know. Maybe we did come in thinking we were the same as we were when we were 16. I don't know.
well, see, that's why I said that tweet that you put up earlier. That spoke volumes because people do
Mhm.
change every day.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
if for whatever reason somebody sees a flaw in the person that you are, it's because you're not the person you were before. I mean,
Mhm.
trust me, you don't want high school Dave. High school Dave,
You've told me stories.
yeah, way
Oh, I was gonna
worse,
say, did she know high school, Dave? Okay.
No.
way worse than middle aged Dave.
I think even since we've been together, I've changed a lot.
We both have. I mean,
Yeah.
you've grown. You've
Yeah.
grown a lot since we've been together. I've taught this one how
Oh.
to come out of her shell.
Yeah, I was very shy
Oh.
and
Now look at her podcasting.
still shy. I'm just
Exactly. But he gives you that capability to come on out. That's how I'm
yeah,
looking at it, anyways.
I think for me, I tried to hide who I really was and just try to be who I thought people wanted me to be. And Dave was like,
Mm.
"No, be yourself. Just you're weird. Be weird."
If you like to joke
Okay.
and make jokes about, make jokes about TV programs and stuff like that, that's who you are.
Mhm.
Be you.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
I guess that's a
I
lot
like
what you
that.
do. Yeah, I guess that's a lot what you do,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah, just basically just be
Basically, yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Be
Well, hell,
yourself and do good in life.
how do I get on payroll?
Right. If only. But I
It
like
will
it
pick
because
up for you.
it's yeah, it has picked up, but I think it's at the pace because even with my mentor is like, oh, you should be this and you should be that. But I feel like I'm at a pace that I like because I'm
Mhm.
also in school. I'm
Okay.
still, well, I'm in the research. I'm going for my doctorate degree in theocentric psychology. So a part of what I'm doing is also for research. I don't tell people that, but it's for research for this dissertation that I have to present and defend. But that's essentially what it is just accepting where you are and who you are, and no matter what goes on, like these things are going on around me as I speak. Like I don't want my husband to leave, but he feels like he has to do what's best for him and he has to leave. But it's me coming bringing myself together and say, okay, Angel, you got to focus on this because I can only make my own decisions. I can tell him I don't want him to leave,
Mhm.
but I can't allow that to alter the fact that I have other things put in place that were here before he came back into my life.
Yeah.
And so it hurts, but at the same time, I have children to take care of. I have a household to take care of. We're not fighting over money or anything like that, but it's dead. I don't know. We change every day.
We change every day. That is, you know what? I think that might be the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. People change every day.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. So, uh, we got to talk her again. Good stuff. Um, so, uh, so yeah. Um, Unfortunately, I'm sorry to hear about your marriage. But hopefully
Thank you.
things will pick back up. You know, it
Yeah, me
sounds
too.
like you really have a bond with him.
I do. He's just emotional. Some people, he's not one of those people who can, he's enamored with the self embrace movement, and I've tried to get him involved, but he is one of those who understand that he's not emotionally intelligent at this moment. And
Okay.
so his emotions are like the ends of the spectrum. He does not hover.
Yeah.
He's just either here or there. And so at least he knows that because that is the first
Right.
step.
Yeah.
Do you see that more with men? Because I know like men are kind of taught you're supposed to be strong and you're not supposed to have emotion. So when they start going through your program, do you see that often?
I'm glad you asked me that. The men that I see often are the men who are in touch with their feminine side, I would say, or their emotions. The ones I don't get to talk to, I think that's why I don't really know how to deal with this situation because I don't really talk to the men who are overly emotional and can't handle it. So it's
Mhm.
hard for me to deal with it in my marriage. And so I'm the blame for everything going wrong. But the most of the time, I see men who are able to express themselves and who know what they want,
Mhm.
and it's so much easier that way. It's so much
Mhm.
easier that way. I just have to not get into that transference stage where the client and the therapist get too involved. I make sure to keep my distance, but at the same time, that's one thing that I'm appreciative of is the men that do come talk to me. These are
Mhm.
men who have an actual issue and who are willing to listen to another perspective or a
Mhm.
female perspective at that about how to better because I from all of the men that I've talked to, they are in very good relationships,
Mhm.
awesome relationships, and long-standing relationships. So when I started opening myself up to actually counsel was in 2019, and I can remember one of the first ones I talked to. He was his thing was he wanted a daughter, and she didn't want another baby until they got married.
Mhm.
But going through, I wasn't able to talk to her because I just didn't. But going through that and seeing how it evolved, they got themselves together and he had his child. And so I like to see those things. I really don't know how to deal with the outrageousness of someone because I know when your emotions are on one of the ends of the spectrum,
Mhm.
nothing really good comes out of it. Like even if it's just too much of you showing your love, or it's too much of you showing your aggression, nothing good comes out of either of those. I think you have to meet somewhere in the middle, and that's what I've been asking for, is common ground. Because number one, I'm your wife, I can't really counsel you,
Mm-hmm.
but I was told by another counselor that I should, and that was kind of confusing to me, because I'm like, if I show him, then I'm going to feel like it's because I said it. But that's mostly what I see. The people that I meet that request to work with me are people who are ready to work, not people who are just distraught. And
Mm-hmm.
I
Right.
like that factor. Yeah, I like that. It's easier because the people who are just distraught and not ready to work, they're not willing to work on past issues.
Well, I'll tell you. I agree with you 100%. It's kind of like an addict. You can't change unless you want to change yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And I mean, I've known way too many addicts in my day who like they just they either sink or swim. You know, and
yeah,
unfortunately, if you sink, there's horrible repercussions. The same could be said about personality and uh,
yeah,
things of that
yeah. Because
nature.
you can become addicted to anything. I know in one of the books I wrote, I put a statement in there saying that you shouldn't misuse anything, a substance or a person, in order to get you to where you think you need to be. So, I think about the episode you had about cocaine in a can or something. I was
Yeah,
listening to it last night again. I was like, oh wow, and how that affected that marriage.
right. And
Mm-hmm.
that was only half of it. The other part's coming
Oh
out next week.
wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and I mean, I've done my fair share of substances in my day, but like I was fortunate enough to have the willpower to move away from that. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't even close to easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Um,
It's not easy, but that's what people I think they have this idea that life has already been hard enough. So now they just want it easy, or it's just supposed to be easy. And it's no, it's I feel like you just have to develop yourself or condition yourself to be able to be willing to deal with the difficult moments.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm a very emotional person, and I think like I wear my emotions on my sleeve, but as I've gotten older, I've learned how to hold that in when it's appropriate.
When it's appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I come home and
Yeah.
just like lose it then.
Oh yeah, yeah. She beat me a couple of times. It
Shut
was.
up.
Oh wow. She had to let it out on somebody.
That's right. That's right.
But I think that that was one thing that you struggled with when we first got together was like I just cry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell
Oh,
you what was wrong with me
Yes.
or what was bothering me. I would just
oh.
cry. I hold it in and
And yeah, and I would tell her like, I'm your mate. Share these
Mhm.
experiences, share these experiences with me. I want to know
Mhm.
because we could work on it. Whatever the issue is, we could work on it and fix it, you
mhm.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Or maybe, do you feel like you just needed him to listen? Because a lot of the times, some people just want you to listen to everything they have to say.
hmm?
I think for me a lot of it was because he's my second marriage. My first husband was not he wasn't like abusive, but I definitely could not speak my mind. So I think with
Yeah.
him, I was afraid that if I did tell him how I was feeling, he would either get upset or want to leave
Hmm.
or so just learning, I guess, unlearning the behavior
Hmm.
from my previous marriage was.
And that was one of the things that we've talked about on several occasions, like, how um if she doesn't tell me, how am I supposed to know? You
Mhm.
know, if we can't
Hmm.
if we can't work on this together, and I listen to what she has to say. A lot of times it was about a job. Um, sometimes you just get a frustrating day at work, or sometimes it was about me. Not gonna lie, is I I am definitely no picnic. But I'm not, for lack of a better word, an asshole either.
Yeah.
You know, I,
Right.
I at least like to think that I have a good personality.
Mhm.
You know,
But I mean, we've been together for 7 years, so obviously we've, you know,
we've grown so much as a couple. You
yeah.
know,
Hmm.
but it took us 5 to get married.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Well, see, I was at this mindset that it didn't work for me twice.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, and if it doesn't work for me twice, then I didn't want to do it again. But 3 times a charm. We never argue unless it's about pancakes or waffles or something like that. I'm sure you've heard
Oh,
that before.
wow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Or like Bigfoot
uh,
being real. We
yeah.
got into a pretty heated argument the other day about Bigfoot. So
Okay, I would pay to have y'all arguments. Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, these arguments—they're ridiculous, but they mean so much to us.
neither one of us want
That's
to
the
like
beauty
bend.
of life.
That's right.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
like me personally, like I want to know why every shot of Bigfoot or Yeti or something is grainy. We live in 2022.
Right. Clear it up. I want to see
Every
the detail.
every single camera is high definition nowadays. Every single one.
Mhm.
But we just seen a photo that was released not long ago of a Yeti, and she's like, "Oh, look how long
No,
his arms are. Those aren't
they say it's a
oh
chupacabra.
chupacabra. Yeah, the livestock
Yeah.
vampire. Like the livestock vampire. Yeah, chupacabra. There's another big one. Like, how come they've never caught chupacabra? Like he has to stop
Mhm.
to suck the blood out of the side of a cow.
Exactly.
How come they've never caught him?
We'll continue that later.
Oh yeah, no, it's on. It's on. It's on.
So, do you
Okay.
counsel a lot of couples or more one on one?
More one-on-one because I really like to focus on the individual. I do believe God called me when He first called me, when I first realized my own calling was for relationships. But I held off because at the time I was divorced and I was like, I can't talk about relationships. And even now, us being so new, it's like I still want to get there. But now I feel like, what am I going to do? Because I'm trying to work on this. Like I even suggested that he and I complete a program together. So I put out a lot of suggestions, but I don't. I think it's me not in a zone for that. Because even in a relationship, I think the individuals have to take care of who they are in order to bring the two, the two of you have to come together. And you're not going to agree on everything. You're not going to like everything, but there has to be a common ground. There has to be a common ground, and it can't be just one person saying, "Okay, it's whatever," or "Okay, I'll let this slide," or you have to be able to know that you got to take care of you first. So that's why I really can't get mad at anybody making any kind of decision because you got to do what's best for you. Now, if you're doing something and you know it's going to hurt you in the long run, that's a whole nother realm. But
Yeah.
I don't want to do anything that's going to hurt me. And but like even with my marriage now, this is out of my hands. It's He'll say it's in my hands because I don't know if I'm in the right place to say this, but his number one thing is sex. His number one thing is sex. So he tells me, just give me sex and we're good. And I'm like, it don't work like that. Like, I need some conversation. I
Yeah.
need some serious intimate conversation, because there are other issues that I feel like aren't as important, but they're still bothering me. And I like to talk about the things that bother me. I've always been a talker. But yeah, it's just more so individualized. And even with the self-paced coaching programs, now that's something that is more new for me to provide because I used to do classes and I would take a group of people and go through a lesson with them. But now I have it to where they can purchase the lesson and follow through the program on their own. So I think I like the one-on-one and I like speaking to groups. That's my goal is to speak to start traveling and speaking once I'm in that area. But right now I want to finish this degree and put some other things in play. And that way I feel like I'll be in a position to more travel, because this research is the research and the writing and the parenting.
Mhm.
All of those together, I might need to try some substances myself.
I feel you.
I can't I can't deal with our dogs half the time, so
I mean,
kudos to you.
yeah, for real.
I mean,
Yeah,
he was out of town for a few days last week, and it was just me and the dogs, and I'm like, get home soon.
Oh wow! Oh my goodness!
yeah. I had to go down to Florida, and we live in Ohio, so I and
Mhm.
I drove there, and the
Oh
drive
wow! By
took.
yourself?
Yep. And the drive took 2 days because got to have a hotel room so I could stay rested, and then so that was 2 days down there, 2 days back, and a couple days in between.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, she was about ready to jump through the phone and pull me back up.
I would be too. Oh my goodness!
So let's see. So we've heard all about your ministry. We've heard about your marriage. We've heard about your children, but I want to know about Angel herself. I would like to know what Angel likes to do for fun because I know you got what 9 kids running around.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we have
nine.
4 that lives here, but yeah.
Oh, four that lives there, but
Um,
okay.
yeah.
I know you don't have a whole lot of time, but whatever time you do have, what do you like to do for fun?
Um, I like to lay around. I really like to take it easy. That's a tagline that I like to use is take it easy. I really like to take it easy. I like to lay out in the sun. I like to write. I like to read. I like affection, so I like laying up under my husband if the time comes for that. Even if, not with him, with my kids, like they just like me, they like to lay around and lay up under me too. I really like to relax in the time
Mhm.
that I have. I like going out eating and doing all these other things, which are fun, but to really enjoy life and enjoy myself, I
Hmm.
really like to be in a clean space.
Mhm.
And I like for it to smell good. I like the sun to shine, and I just want to relax and just be who I am, because that's where I can naturally be myself.
Mhm.
Um, I also like talking. I enjoy talking, so
Hey, so do
I would
we.
pick talking over. Yeah, I would pick
Yeah.
talking over movies, everything. But that's really me. Like, so that sounds like a lazy person, but that's really what I enjoy to do. I wasn't able to do these things growing up. I was always told to shut up. I was always told what to think and how to think. And so now that I can do these things for myself, I really enjoy
Mhm.
just doing those.
I mean, it sure beats going out to the club. You know,
I've never been a clubber, so yes,
right?
but
I think I've been to one club one time, and it just was not my scene. You know,
oh really?
yeah. Like myself, if I unwind, it's like playing music. Because I'm a musician as
Oh,
well. Um, Liz likes to read. So she
okay.
really hates it when we're both having leisure time because I'm as loud as possible while she's trying to
Oh,
read.
wow. Wow. So you don't have like rooms, or, sometimes I like to go to the library. I just do.
Yeah.
I like to, and the kids like to go to the library too, so we'll go to the
Mhm.
library.
Well, see, I don't know if you see too much of what's going on behind me, but there's a whole bunch of mess on this desk back there. But over there, there's a
Mhm.
gigantic amp, and then behind you on the computer stand here, there is two other amps. There's a drum set
Oh,
over
you can't get
there,
away from that noise.
and there's a drum set
No.
over there.
No.
So, so we are definitely not quiet at all.
And
Okay,
eventually
I see.
we're going to build a room in the basement that's soundproofed so it's not so
Okay.
bothersome, but
Yeah, yeah.
So
It's gonna be a
that's a good compromise.
yeah. We're in the works. Like right now, I have the room sound treated and stuff. Um, you know, but it's not enough.
you tell the band like we're
Mhm.
playing acoustic because Liz is going to kill me if we're
Yeah.
loud today and
Oh, I've done it several times. I've told them we
So
need
you
to.
play in a band?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I
Okay.
don't want to call it a band per se. It's more like a project.
Mhm.
I
Okay.
collaborate with other musicians and stuff like that. Um,
Oh.
but I do have like a set 5 people that we get together and we play, and I guess you could call that a band. band
Yeah.
of old miscreants.
Yeah.
That sounds therapeutic too.
It
I would
is.
love to have a group of people that I can get together and just do something with, like something that you really enjoy.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I mean, there's times where it's not enjoyable at all, and then there's times
Oh,
where it's super enjoyable. But I mean, it's like if you play long enough, it becomes more of a job, and that's when
yeah.
it's not as enjoyable. But like we took a step back a little bit. Haven't played in some time, and then now we're getting back together. What, Wednesday?
Mhm.
Um,
Okay.
and it's going to be brand new again. It's going to be fresh.
Mhm.
Um,
You have
Mhm.
new music you're working on, and
Right. Got new music we're working on. And I know this is
Okay.
Angel's podcast, everybody, but I'm giving myself a plug here.
Go ahead.
um,
You have the carpet.
but yeah, I think it's important that, if you enjoy something, that you take a little bit of time to do it. Even if it's
Yeah.
a few minutes a day. If you want to pick up a
Yeah.
book, or if you want to like go outside and do some gardening, or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. I think it's very important, especially for your own mental health,
Yeah.
to
Yes,
just.
it's meditative. A lot of people
Mhm.
don't think because that is active meditation. And I've learned that a lot of people have hard time meditating and knowing what meditation is. So I let them know you have options. You have active meditation, like you can go outside in the garden, like you said, and allow your mind, because your mind is going to subconsciously do what it needs to do. You don't have to
Mhm.
focus on a particular thing; just focus on what you're doing, and your thoughts are going to you. Think of like those are those aha moments, because now your mind is able to actually operate as it should to
Right.
bring forth the messages and the answers and the creations and all of the things that you need. So, and music is also amazing because of the language of music. I
Right.
love music therapy, or sound therapy. I like sound therapy.
Oh, we're noisy. I don't know about that. I don't know if you'd like our stuff.
No,
No, no. We're I don't know. I guess you could classify us as like uh a whole bunch of things, but mostly it's like classic and 90s.
Yeah, classic rock, kind of
oh, okay.
90s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
At least
yeah.
it's not like metal, and
Yeah.
I
Right.
would probably like no band practice is not here.
Yeah. I don't think I could do metal anyway. I'm not cut for that cloth.
We're too old.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a
I
different
might
type of lifestyle.
right. I might break a hip. You know, it wouldn't be any good. Wouldn't be any good. Um. So yeah. We're coming up on we'll say 40 minutes here. I'm actually out of
Okay.
questions because you were
Oh,
just so
wow.
open. You were so open. You've answered questions I didn't even ask.
Mhm.
But in closing, is there anything that you would like to tell our listeners?
Um, I would just like to say that I am open. A lot of people come to me and their question is basically a question of in the moment. And I just want to tell people whatever is going on like right now, that it's an indication of what you should be doing or what you should be focusing on. Because I really feel like the things that come into our lives are the things that we focus on.
Hmm.
And so when it's something like with my personal situation, where I am, I don't feel like I've gotten emotional about it because it's kind of like it's been there peeking at me out the window this entire time. So it's more so accepting to know that I've lived my truth. I've done what I needed to do, even if that was the wrong thing. And I think people get caught up in doing right and doing wrong when with self embrace, all you have to do is do. Just make a choice. There's no right, there's no wrong, there's no up, there's no down. All you have to do is continue to move along on your path. And I talked, oh, that was today. Well, Mondays I put up my messages for the ministry, and I talked about recognizing the path that God has for you. So I feel like once you recognize your path and you come to accepting that this is your path, everything you need and everything that you need to accomplish something is going to be there for you, and the other stuff that comes, it'll be taken care of. But if you get off of your path or get so caught up into the path of somebody else's, this is where all the chaos comes from, because that's not your path and you're not equipped to handle it. So I think when we're equipped to handle life and the things that are going on in our life right now, it's because we are on our path and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. So whatever, if someone comes along your path and they decide, I don't want to be here no more, it's okay. It's not going to destroy your life. And I think the very first time this happened to me, I felt like it was going to destroy my life. I felt like I didn't want to live anymore, because I had just became so consumed in, this is permanent. Like, you have to be on my path forever. But life isn't just like this. My path is for me. And that's how I can take my time and pray and ask God and seek guidance, and then not question him when I say, okay, you told me that this is going to happen, and you told me that this was my husband, so what is going on? And when God says don't worry about it, I can't worry about it. Like, I didn't get upset. I'm cool, because I've talked to God. I've tried to talk to you. You're a person, but like I said, people get in their emotions, and some people shut down, some people overly express, and I had to get to a place of calm and be in the middle and not show love or not show hate. Just be in the middle and just be okay with whatever comes next. And that will alter my little, whatever I'm gonna call it, my little guidance, thermometer thing, to let me know which way to move. Should I move more in love, or should I move more towards hate or revenge or whatever? But I like being in the middle. I like being centered. The name of my homeschool academy, I got it up here. I know you probably can't see it, but it's Kati Kati Guidance Academy. And the word Kati Kati is Swahili for centered. And so I like being in the center. I like the time that I take for myself to meditate. And I like to call it focus and observe, because I'm observing within. I want to say this, and I'm not going to hold y'all anymore. I know I've been talking. But when
No,
the
talk
Bible
away.
talks about when the Bible talks about God examining our hearts, I posted the other day that, a man does not take the time to examine a heart, but God does. And what I meant by that, because I didn't explain it, but what I meant by that is, we are the examiners of our own heart. And we have to take the time to go within our own heart, not somebody else's heart, but in our own heart, to make sure that we have the space, or we need to pluck out any seeds that are in there that shouldn't be in there, because we got to know ourselves for ourselves. God has already done this work, because God created us. He created our hearts. He created these things to function in tandem. So what I urge people to take some time to examine your own heart, because just because we think we're helping someone does not mean we're helping them. We're doing what we probably are asked to do or should be doing. But if you look into your heart, do you really want to do this? Do you really want to be here? Do you really want to put forth the effort into something that you see going nowhere? And I really believe in being productive. If it's not productive, I don't have any use for it. So as long as it's conducive for my lifestyle, as long as we can make something work out of this, I'm willing. And that's another thing. We have to be willing. Without the willingness to work with one another, you don't have much. I said something to someone the other day, when they reached out to me. I'm trying to find it so I can say it. But it's basically, I told them it doesn't take long for us to get to our goal. All we need is a willingness to collaborate and to work together, and we can get to whatever goal we need to get to faster. It doesn't take long to know where you want to be and know what you want in life. You just it depends on the willingness that you show forth, because without that, you're just be a sitting duck, and everything else will be passing you along, and you get upset because you're supposed to be at this point by now. I'm sorry, y'all. I just went off right there.
No, no, no. We
This
love
is
that.
your stage.
Yeah, that was your time to shine. I do have a question for you in closing. Something that I actually thought about earlier today, and completely evaded me this entire episode. Um, but I am and I say this to everybody. I believe that everybody should follow something. You know, I am an outspoken atheist. I'm not a person who like is going to challenge your belief like most
Mm-hmm.
atheists
Yeah.
are, If I were to believe in anything, I believe in the sun. George Carlin actually said that, and that makes the most sense to me. But with you being in the ministries, I actually would like to bring this up. Um, First off, how important is it for you to work with somebody who would be like myself, who might be an atheist? Stuff like that. Would that be a challenge for you, or would you work it in your own way?
It's not a challenge. And um, it's crazy you said that. I've talked to atheists, what how they classify themselves as atheists, and it's never been like a challenge back and forth. They were like you. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's crazy that you said that because everybody I've met that thinks that way was just like, hey, this is what I believe. I respect what you believe. Let's keep it moving. But we've had conversations, we had Bible studies, like we've gone through this. And it's one thing you said is you're an atheist and you believe in the sun.
Yeah.
Because when we look to the scripture, people get rubbed the wrong way when I say this, because I look at my Bible as just another book on my shelf. My Bible sits on my bookshelf with all my books. It's a
Mm-hmm.
reference tool. And I believe God's law is his rhema word. So whatever word you feel is coming to you, whether it's from the sun, the trees, the grass, that's nature's law, God's law, the universe's law. But in the scripture of the Bible, his first thing was, because somebody asked this question, if God created this and that, how did he know what to do if everything started in darkness? Because his word says, I am the light, I am the sun. So it's funny that you said you believe in the sun
Mm-hmm.
because that's exactly what God is. God is everything around us that we can touch or can feel. All of this is God. God is not a
Mm-hmm.
human being. God doesn't possess human qualities. God is the law of the land. So this is why the earth does exactly what it's supposed to do, because it is God. And there's no changing those factors. But I like working with those people who think differently because I can learn something in that. And if I'm not the one learning at the time, they're learning. So either I'm learning or I'm teaching. But I still love it. I don't like the fact that, well, I don't even have that issue because everyone that I meet has another mindset or has a curiosity about what a scripture says or something in another book. So that won't be hard at all. And I've never met someone who tried to challenge me or tell me I was wrong. The, that's an atheist. The ones that tell me I'm wrong are Christians. That's the thing. And I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
really? The church
Yeah.
goers.
Yeah. Yeah. My mother was actually one of those Sunday Christians.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, no, I totally understand that. The more religious somebody puts them on, so like more outspoken religious that somebody
Hmm.
puts themselves out to be, is the more judgmental that they are. And that's, I mean, I'm one of those types personally, like I said, that I respect everybody's belief.
Mhm.
Hmm.
If you believe that there's like a three-headed God up in the sky and everything, hey, I'm gonna believe every word you say until our conversation's done with.
Right.
That is your truth. And
Yeah.
And I think that, I mean, the very outspoken Christians, I think, are a lot of times the ones who turn people off from religion. You know,
mhm,
I
They
believe in
are. That's the
God.
reason my mama left the church.
yeah,
I mean, I believe in
Hmm.
God. You know, I put my faith in God. I don't put my faith in organized religion. That's how I look at it. And
and
I think a pastor told us one time, because I said, I'm not very religious. And he said, I'm not religious either. I'm relational.
yeah,
And I think that was probably like the most beautiful way to put it
yeah.
for me,
And I
because I
honestly think,
related to that.
I honestly think that
Okay.
those like staunch Christians, like those really diehard Christians, the one that are pointing their finger at you, they don't realize that three more are pointing back at them. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
everybody's got a skeleton in their closet, and they just seem to hide them and pile them up.
Mhm.
But
And see, and that's the thing about me. I like to pull all my stuff out of the closet. That's why, I when I say I walk around with no secrets, I walk around with no secrets. Anybody could literally walk up to me and ask me a question, and I'm giving you the answer. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you the answer, because I've had my trials and tribulations with keeping secrets, keeping other people's secrets, keeping my secrets, and I just don't do that anymore. And to touch on religion, I like to illustrate. I have this illustration where it's religion versus routine, because a lot of people don't realize all a religion is something you practice continually. That's it.
Hmm.
So you can be religious in exercise, or you can take it to the church, but either way it goes, it's just a routine that you choose to practice on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I think people say that passively and they don't even realize it. You know,
No,
like,
they
oh,
don't.
I'm religious about playing my guitar. I'm religious about, they say it passively, without even
Hmm.
realizing that they're actually like, that's what they do on a
Yeah.
regular.
Yeah,
um,
that's what they hold highly within their lives, is whatever
yeah.
they choose to do. Yeah.
And Angel, you have been an awesome guest.
Hmm.
I would like
Oh, thank
to
you.
check back up with you in a few months. Maybe we can get together and do this again.
Hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
and if you want to stick around after we're done here, I just want to have a few more words with you off
Okay.
camera. But it was nice meeting you, and I'm sure our listeners will love to meet you as well.
Hmm.
And for everybody out there listening, this has been Memoirs of a Modern Marriage. We are your hosts. My name is Dave,
And I'm Liz.
and we will see you next week.
See ya.